Hey guys, what's up? It's Noah here. Just making another video. If you haven't seen, The Final Frontier is out. Go ahead and check it out. This video is not going to be my new studio tour video because I saw somebody commented on one of my last videos. Snuff Dog said something about Autotune and what websites or programs that he might be able to use to make it sound good. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about Autotune in general, kind of share my thoughts on the subject. Now, when I was like 12, 13, and I was super into rock music, I thought that electronic music was cheating and that Autotune was of the devil. I thought all Autotune was bad. And I'm here to tell you in this video, that is not the case, okay? I've been doing a lot of different music for a long time now, and I'm here to tell you Autotune is definitely your friend. There's actually 3 different types of Autotune that I want to talk about in this video, and I'll explain which ones are good and which ones are bad. The first type is the one that I use the most, and it's basically as a duct tape for your songs. So I'll record a vocal track, right? And most of the song, and like, this is the one. The energy is there. I hit all the right diction, like everyone can understand what I'm saying. And I hit the best notes, but there's like some tiny little subtle things that need fixed. And so I'll use some Autotune to go in and slightly fix some things so that it sounds good. Like, you know, it'll sound natural still. I want it to sound natural, I want it to sound good. And because maybe I accidentally slid off of a note one time, like in a certain point of the song. And then I'll go ahead and use Autotune to try and fix that. And generally, it does it really easily. And so that is the first time, and now, everybody uses this type of Autotune. Most people in the industry will use this type of Autotune. Nobody naturally sounds amazing. If you do, that's awesome and you don't need it perfect. But generally, for well-produced music that you'll hear on the radio, even the rock songs, they'll use this type of pitcher Autotune to make their songs sound good. The second type of Autotune is stylistic. So you got your artists like Owl City and T-Pain that will use this type of Autotune. Now it'll obviously sound different depending on which one it is. But so like T-Pain's, his whole sound is built around that like voice, that computerized voice that he has. And so that is completely fine. Now I'm sure you guys have seen videos. If you haven't, you should look them up. T-Pain is an amazing singer, actually. He's really good. But he uses Autotune in the majority of his songs as a stylistic choice. That is what sounds like T-Pain. You hear this guy singing, you might not know it was him, because all of his songs have that kind of sound. Kind of same with Owl City. Owl City has that, it's slightly above stylistic, where it's a little bit more computerized, and I was anti-Owl City, but it's good music. Owl City is a talented artist, and he's a good songwriter. Stylistic Autotune is just fine, because they can make good music without it, but they choose to use it because it helps to build the song a little bit better. The third type of Autotune is the one that you definitely want to stay away from. The third type of Autotune is using it as a crutch, and a lot of the artists that you hear on the radio don't necessarily do this. It'll be artists that are kind of starting out. If you're just getting into production and things like that, or you're getting into songwriting or rapping or whatever, you might think that I won't sound good unless I use this Autotune. I'm not a good enough singer, I'm not a good enough rapper. I hate the sound of my own voice. That's a huge issue that young songwriters or producers will run into, is that they find that when they record themselves, that they hate the sound of their own voice. And that is just something you're gonna have to get over. And Autotune won't cover that up. It's best to just listen to yourself, and you can tweak yourself to make yourself better. That's a vocal production thing, that's later. But you don't want to use Autotune as a way to cover yourself up. You can use it as duct tape, or you can use it stylistically, and that's A-okay, that's fine. But I don't want you guys to get in the habit of, man, I don't like this way I sound on this song, so I'm just gonna use Autotune and make it crazy. You know what I mean? It ends up sounding cheap, and I don't want you guys to sound cheap. I want you guys to sound good. I would generally stray away from using that kind of Autotune. I wouldn't use it so much that if you listen to the song and be like, man, I need Autotune, either re-record the song or figure something else out. You don't want to just use Autotune as like a type of crutch. Let's talk about Autotune plugins for a second. I've only used 2 in my entire existence. of me doing production. The first one was called Kurovi, I think. Kuranvi? I'm not sure which one. It was something, it started with a K, and there was a V in there, and then an E. I used that one a long time ago when I used Acid to produce. And when I say Acid, I mean Sony Music Studio is called Acid. Like how the other one's called, like the movie studio is called Vegas, this one is called Acid. So when I said I use Acid to produce, that's what I meant. Anyway, so I used this. It was a free VST plugin that I found on the internet. There's probably a lot better ones out there now, but I haven't looked in a while because now when I use Fruity Loops to record, I use Pitcher. And that's like a native plugin that comes with Fruity Loops. You can adjust the sense, you can adjust how quickly it goes to the notes, you can adjust what notes it wants to hit in the auto-tune. And I've never really needed to use anything else besides that. So those are the two auto-tunes that I've used in the past, and the ones I would probably suggest. But there's probably better ones out there if you look. If you're kind of new and you're not entirely sure how to do auto-tune stuff, I would generally stay away from anything that you upload into the internet and it turns to auto-tune. They have a bunch of those apps where you can, like, you know, plug in your lyrics and they sing the songs. That kind of stuff, stay away from that too. Anyways, that's my thoughts on auto-tune in general. Yeah, so just remember, duct tape and stylistically, it's a-okay, but if you use that as a crutch, that's when you start coming into problems. Remember to like and subscribe to this video. That always helps, it helps drastically to increase the channel. That contest for the Final Frontier is still going on, and right now Schimberg is in the lead, so somebody better start picking up and tagging me in photos and videos. Otherwise, he's gonna win it all. Cha-ching. I'd really like to know what you guys think of auto-tune, how you guys use it, and also, hey, drop me what your favorite song is on the Final Frontier in the comments too. Alright. I think that's about it for this video. Let me know if you want me to talk about anything else music related. I love talking about this kind of stuff. Stay frosty, guys.